Adanna and her mom arrived in the United States, stepping into a world unlike anything they had ever known. They were welcomed warmly and taken to a comfortable apartment that had everything they needed. 2 days later, a sleek black car came to take them to Queen's Fashion Academy, a place known for producing the world's top fashion designers. Adanna was nervous but excited, and her mom held her hand tightly, silently praying for her daughter's success. At the academy, they were greeted by Mrs. Watson, the head fashion instructor. Mrs. Watson's voice was kind and full of energy. She had read all about Adanna and couldn't wait to see what the blind prodigy could do. "Welcome to Queen's Fashion Academy, Adanna. We are so thrilled to have you here." Adanna and her mom were giving a tour of the massive school. The hall smelled like fresh fabric, and there were a hum of sewing machines in the air. They saw classrooms filled with mannequins, fabric rolls, and high-tech machines used for creating designs. Adanna was even shown her dormitory just in case she decided to stay overnight when working on a big project. Her schedule was intense, 8 to 10 hours of fashion classes daily, followed by homeschooling in the evenings. Adanna's homeschool tutor, Mrs. Tina Maxwell, was a friendly African-American woman who visited 3 times a week. Tina made sure Adanna kept up with maths, science, and English. She also helped her with online classes, ensuring Adanna didn't fall behind in her regular studies. That night, as they settled back in their apartment, Adanna's mom said, "Adanna, my daughter, this won't be easy. But remember, God has brought you this far. You are here for a reason. And I believe with all of my heart, you will do your best." Adanna nodded. "I won't waste this chance, Mama. I promise." The next day, Adanna started her classes. Mrs. Watson introduced her to the other students. Some were curious, some smiled, but a few whispered behind her back. Among them were Jessica and Patricia, 2 girls who seemed annoyed by Adanna's presence.
"Hello, class. This is Adanna,"
Mrs. Watson said proudly.
"She may be blind, but she has a gift. Please, let's make her feel welcome."
In her first week, Adanna amazed everyone by answering questions about fashion history and famous designers. Her understanding of fabric textures and color combination stunned the class. Jessica and Patricia, who were known as the best students, couldn't believe it. "How does she even know all this?" Jessica whispered to Patricia during a break. "I don't know, but she's not going to stay on top for long." Adanna's classes were no joke. She had to learn everything about fashion, from the history of famous designers like Coco Chanel, Hermes, and Tommy Hilfiger. She also had to learn how to use cutting-edge tools for design. During her fashion illustration class, Mrs. Watson showed her how to use tactile methods like texture boards and advanced AI tools to help visualize her designs. Adanna was paired with Mrs. Brandy Clifford, a special tutor who guided her through practical activities to ensure there was no accident and that she was able to use the sewing machines and other equipment at her disposal. One afternoon, during a break, Jessica and Patricia decided to play a cruel prank. Jessica offered to take Adanna to the cafeteria. "Come on, let me help you," she said in a sugary voice. Adanna, trusting her, followed. But instead of the cafeteria, they led her to the restroom and locked her inside. Adanna knocked on the door. "Hello, is anyone there?" she called out, realizing she had been tricked. But instead of panicking, she took a deep breath and focused. She listened carefully, hoping to catch the sound of someone nearby. Her sharp ears picked up faint footsteps, and she called out loudly, "Excuse me, I need help." Luckily, a janitor passing by heard her. He unlocked the door and guided her back to her classroom. Mrs. Brandy noticed Adanna's flushed face and asked what happened. Adanna explained, but she couldn't name her tormentors because Jessica and Patricia had given fake names. That evening, Adanna shared what had happened with her mom. Her voice shook as she spoke. "Mama, why would they do that? I just want to learn." Her mom wrapped her in a tight hug. "Ada, not everyone will be kind, but you must stay strong. Life is not all roses and sunshine. And please, just because you're blind does not mean that people will take it easy with you. Not everyone is kind, my child. But remember, you're a child of the Most High God. Pray for wisdom, and He will guide you. Ask Him to send you a true friend who will stand by you." Adanna wiped her tears. "I'll try, Mama. I'll keep going." "My child, look at me. I know you might not be able to see me, but remember, you are stronger than you think, my daughter," her mother said firmly. "And no matter what, you are not alone." Adanna went to bed that night whispering a prayer for strength. She promised herself she wouldn't let anyone dim her light. The journey was just beginning, and she was determined to shine. A few weeks into the semester, the fashion class was abuzz with excitement. Everyone was working hard on their first big project, a fashion design presentation. Each student had to create a unique design and present it to Mr. Bob, the project supervisor. This was the first chance for students to showcase their talent, and Adanna was no exception. She had worked tirelessly, pouring her heart into her design. Adanna's project was bold, creative, and unlike anything anyone had seen before. She had used a sense of touch to carefully choose fabrics and a sharp mind to imagine a stunning outfit. Her work was displayed on a mannequin ready for the big day. But not everyone wanted to see Adanna succeed. Jessica and Patricia, angry that Adanna had been receiving so much praise, decided to ruin her project. The night before the presentation, they sneaked into the classroom, smeared ink on her fabric, and cut pieces of her carefully arranged display. The morning of the presentation was filled with nervous energy. Students lined up beside their mannequins, each showcasing their designs. Adanna stood beside her mannequins, her hand lightly resting on it as she waited for Mr. Bob to arrive. She could hear whispers and muffled laughter from Jessica and Patricia, but couldn't tell what was going on. When Mr. Bob entered, the room fell silent. He walked around, examining each project closely. When he reached Adanna's mannequin, he stopped. "Adanna," he said, his tone sharp. "Do you think this is a joke?" Adanna froze. A joke? No, sir. I worked very, very hard on this." "Then explain this mess," Mr. Bob said, frustration clear in his voice. Adanna felt her heart sink. She couldn't see what had happened, but she could tell from the gaps and murmurs around her that something was very wrong. Mrs. Brandy, who was always nearby to guide Adanna when needed, stepped forward. "Okay, let's figure this out, Adanna. Tell me what you need to fix it." Adanna took a deep breath, pushing back tears. "Please, ma'am, can you describe what you see?" she said to Brandy. "It looks like fabric has ink smeared on it. Some parts have been cut off." Adanna felt a wave of sadness but quickly pushed it aside. "Okay, I need paper, tape, scissors, and whatever scraps of fabrics we have," she said firmly. Adanna's classmate watched in silence as she walked, with Brandy standing by to hand her the material she needed and guide her hands to specific spots. Adanna began to create something new. She folded, twisted, and layered pieces of newspaper, turning them into intricate patterns. She added fabric scraps, using a sense of touch to create unique textures. Minutes turned into hours, and the classroom buzzed with whispers. Jessica and Patricia watched, their smirked expressions slowly fading as Adanna's design began to take shape. When Adanna finished, she stood back, her hands trembling slightly. "I'm done, sir," she said quietly. Mr. Bob approached the mannequin. His eyes widened as he took in the creation before him. Adanna's design was unlike anything he had ever seen. The layers of paper and fabric came together in a way that was bold, innovative, and breathtaking. Oh my gosh. This is incredible, Adanna. You turned a disaster into a masterpiece. The student murmured in amazement, and they even applauded her. Even Jessica and Patricia were stunned. Mr. Bob announced Adanna's design as the best of the week. It was displayed in the school's showroom where customers came to admire it. To everyone's surprise, several people placed orders for Adanna's design to be recreated with fabric. Adanna's confidence grew, and Mr. Bob's respect for her was evident. He even smiled as he said, "Adanna, I must commend you. You really have a gift. Keep surprising us. And I'm sure the sky will never be the limit for you, my dear." Jessica and Patricia didn't say a word. They couldn't believe how Adanna had turned the tables on them. That evening, Adanna shared the story with her mom. "Mama, you won't believe it. They tried to ruin my project. Something I worked so hard. Oh God," she said, her voice shaky. Her mom hugged her tightly. "But they didn't succeed, Ada. God was with you. Have you forgotten you're the daughter of a king? You are royalty, not of this world. You're the daughter of the Most High God. That means you cannot produce anything short of excellence. So, don't give up, my dear. Remember, no one can stop what God has planned for you. He will always turn their evil plans into something good. In your favor, my dear." Adanna smiled through her tears. She had learned an important lesson. With determination, faith, and a little creativity, even the worst situation could turn into something beautiful. Adanna had been pushing herself very hard. Between the long hours at fashion school and her homeschooling lesson, she barely had time to rest. One day during class, she was dozing. She tried to stay awake, but her head kept nodding. Suddenly, her elbow hit the edge of the table, and the sewing knit in front of her tumbled to the ground. Threads, needles, and tiny tools scattered everywhere, making a soft clatter. Adanna gasped and froze, feeling overwhelmed. She tried to kneel down to pick up the items, but her hands trembled as she fumbled for the scattered pieces. Before she could even think of what to do next, someone touched her shoulder gently. "It's okay, Ada. Let me help you," said a soft voice. It was Selena, a beautiful and quiet girl in the class. Selena knelt beside Adanna and began picking up the threads and needles carefully. "Don't worry," she said with a warm smile. "We'll get everything back in order." Adanna felt her cheeks flush. "Thank you. What's your name?" "Oh, my name is Selena." "Thank you, Selena. I didn't mean to cause trouble." Selena shook her head as she handed Adanna some thread poles. "You're not causing trouble. You've been working so hard. Anyone will be tired." Her words were gentle but firm, making Adanna feel safe and understood. Selena didn't treat her like she was helpless or weak. Instead, she talked to her like an equal. "I've been watching you, Adanna," Selena continued. "You're so brave to be here. Honestly, your courage gives me strength too. If you ever need help, I'm here for you." Adanna felt her heart swell with gratitude. "Oh, you don't know how much that means to me." From that day, Adanna and Selena became close. Selena would explain things to Adanna if she missed anything in class and would guide her if she was unsure of her work. They often spent time together sharing ideas about designs and dreaming about their futures. One day during lunch, Selena said, "You know, Adanna, I think God sent me to you and you to me. You've taught me what real strength looks like." Adanna smiled. I really prayed for a true friend. I think God answered my prayer with you. Not everyone was happy about their friendship. Jessica and Patricia, the main girls in class, still had their jealousy. One afternoon, they approached Adanna and Selena during a break. Jessica crossed her hands and smirked. Adanna, you can't really compete here. Let's be honest. How far do you think you can go when you can't even see? Selena's eyes narrowed. Excuse me. Who do you think you are to say that? Adanna took a deep breath. Jessica, Patricia, you may think my blindness makes me weak, but it doesn't. I see with my heart and my mind. I work harder than most people because I have no choice. I am not going anywhere. So if you don't like that, that's your problem, not mine. The student watching nearby clapped. Some even cheered. Jessica and Patricia's smirked looks faded quickly as they walked away embarrassed. That evening, Adanna's mom received a call from Auntie Kate, Adanna's previous teacher from the village, who was studying at Harvard on scholarship. How's Adanna doing? Auntie Kate asked warmly. Muna sighed. She's doing her best, Kate. It's been hard. The workload is a lot, and some classmates have been unkind. You would think that just because my daughter is blind, people will be kind, but some people are really, really mean. Kate's voice grew firm. Tell Adanna to keep going. Good things don't come easily. She's strong. If she can overcome everything that happened in the village, then she can overcome anything here in the States. I know she can do this. When Muna shared the message, Adanna smiled. Okay, Mom, tell Auntie Kate I won't give up. I promise. That night, as Adanna prepared for bed, she reflected on the day. She thought about Selena's kindness, the mean girl's words, and the encouragement from her teacher. I'm strong, she whispered to herself. God is with me. I have the mind of Christ. I am excellent. I am obedient. I am humble. And most importantly, I am courageous. And I won't give up. Her journey was still full of challenges, but she felt ready to face them. With faith, determination, and the support of true friends, Adanna knew she could overcome anything. The fashion school was buzzing with excitement as the midterm runway show was just days ahead. And everyone was working really hard. Teams had been formed, and each group was busy creating their designs. Adanna and Selena were in a team together, along with a few other students. They spent long hours with their instructors and models, making sure everything was perfect. This was no ordinary show. Top designers from New York, Milan, and Paris were coming to watch. One lucky team will get the chance to intern at a prestigious fashion school in Paris. Everyone wanted to win. Jessica and Patricia, however, were not interested in playing fair. They wanted to see Adanna's team fail. Don't worry, we'll make sure they don't even get a chance, Patricia whispered. Jessica smiled. Leave it to me. The night before the show, they secretly paid one of Adanna's models to drop out at the last minute. On the day of the show, just as Adanna's team were getting ready backstage, the bad news came. What? The model quit? Selena gasped. The team leader shook her head in disbelief. She just texted me. She's not coming. Oh my gosh. Adanna's heart sank. What do we do now? There's no time to find someone else. Every model is busy. Everyone looked at each other in panic. The instructors were busy with other teams and the clock was ticking. Then Adanna straightened up. I will do it. Her teammates stared at her. You? Selena asked softly. Yes, Adanna said firmly. I may be blind, but I can walk the wrong way. I know the design, and I won't let all our hard work go to waste. Selena hesitated and nodded. I'll walk with you. We will do it together with the other models. Selena quickly made adjustments to Adanna's outfit. She chose a matching fabric to replace the plain clothes that Adanna used as her eye wrap, turning it into a stylish accessory. This will make it part of the design, Selena explained as she tied it gently. The team helped Adanna get ready. Selena whispered to her, "Don't worry, I'll guide you. Just hold your head high and follow my lead. Hold my hand." When it was time, Adanna and Selena stepped onto the runway. The lights were bright and the music filled the room. Adanna walked gracefully, her steps steady and confident. Selena stayed close, guiding her discreetly. The audience watched in awe. The outfits were stunning, but it was the way Adanna carried herself that made everyone pause. The eye wrap added a mysterious touch, making the entire look unique. By the time they reached the end of the runway, the crowd burst into applause. "Who are they?" Someone whispered, "They are amazing." After the show, the judges called Adanna's team to the stage. "Well, your designs were bold and creative," said one of the judges. "But there's something else. We've learned the truth about Adanna's blindness. This makes your presentation even more remarkable." The audience clapped loudly. Adanna and Selena stood together, beaming with pride. The judges announced that Adanna's team had been chosen for the internship in Paris. Their designs were praised, and their pictures were soon featured in fashion magazines in New York. Many fashion brands reached out, wanting to work with them. Adanna smiled as she thought about how far she had come. "Thank you, God," she whispered. Selena squeezed her hand. "We did it!" Adanna nodded. "Yes, we did." The moment was not just about winning, but about proving that hard work and courage could overcome anything. Adanna and her team were excited when the Paris fashion house gave them a big task to create a summer collection. It was an important step to get accepted into the program, so everyone worked hard. Adanna decided to stay back at the school dormitory to focus on her designs. Selena had stayed back at home because she wasn't feeling well. So Adanna had to stay alone in the dormitory, and it was quiet, and the night felt heavy. Adanna couldn't explain it, but she felt uneasy. She decided to pack her things and leave for home. Jessica and Patricia, always watching, knew Adanna was staying late. They had planned something terrible. As Adanna was getting ready to leave, Mark, the school janitor, came by. And he said, "Oh, thank God. Your friend, Selena, just went to use the bathroom. She said you should wait for her. She'll be here any minute, okay? Please just wait. I told her you would be in the dormitory, okay? Thank you." Adanna paused. It didn't sound like Selena, but she decided to wait. While waiting, Adanna's phone rang. It was her mother, Muna. "Adanna, I don't know. Just come home now. Please come back home." Muna said, her voice firm. "Mom, is everything all right? I don't know. I just feel you shouldn't stay in school tonight." "But, Mom, Selena is coming to meet me. She went to use the restroom. I'll be back soon, okay? I will leave after she gets here." Selena, meanwhile, arrived at Adanna's house a few minutes later. Muna was surprised. "Selena, what are you doing here? How did you get here so fast?" Adanna said she's waiting for you at school. Selena frowned, confused. "I never went to school today. I've been feeling unwell all day and my phone is actually switched off." Muna's heart sank. "Oh my God, I feel Adanna is in danger. Let's go get her," she whispered and quickly grabbed her car keys. Selena followed. In the dormitory, smoke began to fill the air. Adanna coughed and looked around in panic. The doors were locked. She banged on them, shouting for help, but no one came. Flames began to rise, and Adanna felt the heat closing in. She sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Suddenly, through the fire, a man appeared. His face calm, his eyes were kind. He walked toward her, untouched by the flames. "Come," he said gently. Adanna didn't hesitate. She reached for his hands and together they walked through the fire. The heat didn't harm her. Outside the building, the man disappeared into the night. By the time the fire department arrived, the dormitory was engulfed in flames. Muna and Selena arrived and saw the fire. "My daughter is inside! My daughter is inside! Please help!" Muna screamed, trying to run towards the flame. A firefighter held her back. "Ma'am, please step back. It's too dangerous." "No, but Step back, madam. Just step back." Muna and Selena cried, fearing the worst. But then a firefighter shouted, "Over here!" Everyone turned. Adanna was lying on the grass, unconscious but unharmed. An ambulance rushed Adanna to the hospital. The doctor ran tests and let her rest. The next day, Prince Daniel and Auntie Kate came to visit her. "She's perfectly fine," the doctor said. "Not a scratch on her." "That's incredible." Adanna woke up a few minutes later and told them, "Mom, a man came in and helped me. He saved my life." Muna smiled softly. "That was no man, my daughter. That was an angel. You guys walked through the fire." The school launched an investigation. Although the fire damaged the CCTV, some footage survived. It showed Mark locking the dormitory and starting the fire. Mark was arrested, and during questioning, he confessed that Jessica and Patricia had planned everything. They were expelled and their parents paid for the damages. The Paris fashion house heard about what happened. They were impressed by Adanna's courage and determination. They gave her extra time to recover and even paid her medical bills. Later, they awarded her a scholarship worth millions of euros and promised her a job after graduating from Queen's Fashion Academy. Adanna smiled, tears of gratitude in her eyes. She knew that through it all, God had been with her. If you enjoyed this story, please click the next video showing on your screen. This will also inspire you. And if you also want to watch the part 1, you can also click the video showing on your screen right now. Please don't forget to click the like button. The thumbs up button, that yellow button, is free. Subscription is also free. Thank you and God bless you. I'll see you in the next story right here.